Marbula One is back for good, and with 5 races to go, it's still all to play for. As we see in the standings, some racers and teams seem to have the upper hand, and rightly so, as they are in their prime of their performance, while some others are mathematically out of the contention. Like in our previous video, today we're going to see who's hot and who's not ahead of the Stardust Accelerator Grand Prix. But first, some brief info about the circuit. You might remember back in 2020 when we first visited Polaria for the Marble League, event 16 was Marble Marathon, featuring a track with the same name. Although the layout seems completely different, Team Galactic management say that the Marbula One track is based on that design. This time the track is really an accelerator, as we will see a speed booster in action for the first time. Some teams are more worried than others about this, but that's another discussion. So, here are the power rankings for all 20 competitors who will race in GP8. In reverse championship order, first we get Pinky Panther. Panther is highly motivated to do their best for their team, although there is so much work to do if they want to keep the hope alive. Well, not a championship, but a decent performance. Strength is not bad though, as we see Panther making quite a few overtakes on the race day, but the hard truth is that they need a miracle in qualifying. Up next, Billy from the Green Ducks. Billy needs to prove that they're on top of their game, having at least one win in the previous 2 seasons. With only 5 points so far, the power rankings do not look good. Like Pinky Panther, Billy has yet to impress anyone, but hopefully for them, the mid-season break might have been a good opportunity for some much-needed training. Speed is where they lack the most. Not a favorite for GP8 for sure. Mocha is not the big name for the Chocolatiers, at least not in Marbula One. Their highlight is the raw speed, with some pretty good qualifying laps, but apart from that, everything else is dull. From what we've seen so far, it's more than likely that Mocha will lose places in a race than gain any. Regardless, the Chocolatiers desperately need some good results, because, as it stands, they fight for 18th place in the team's championship, something a race-winning team would not like to do. Next up, the Midnight Wisps. Unlike Wispy, Waspy is all over the place. Currently being the tail ender in the Racers' Championship, there is zero contribution to the team. In a phase of wear and tear, Waspy needs to buckle up and find some performance. It's really hard to make any predictions at this point, but with just 7.5 out of 100 in speed, it seems like GP8 will be another miserable race for them. If you combine the good stuff from Hazy and Smoggy, you get the perfect racer. Smoggy has got 31 points so far, of which 25 were awarded from the record-breaking win in Slit Street, where Smoggy had an epic duel with Red Eye that day, getting on top of the current champion. But apart from that, not much to see. As it seems, Smoggy isn't suited for the new qualifying format, and thus they fight for the bottom 10 places. With Stardust Accelerator having so many new features, everything is possible for a racer like Smoggy. Thunder has great speed and overall is in good shape. Battling for positions though is not their forte, but a good qualifying may be the recipe for success. The Thunderbolts may sit in 15th place at the moment, but it's only 6 points shy of P9. I would consider Thunder a huge favorite for taking the pole in GP8. Moving on, Speedy was the M1 giant last season, finishing on the podium in half the races they entered, with 2 wins to their career. No one can easily write off Speedy from the contention, even if things seem difficult. After the resurgence of Season 2 finishing runner-up, mathematically they're still in the championship fight. Of course, they need a domino of luck to get up there, but GP8 might be a good start for them. Alpine from the Gliding Glaciers is a great race fighter. With lots of overtakes and great start-to-finish performance, they only need a good qualifying. Q2 is possible with the track hopefully mixing up the order, although I wouldn't put my money on them for a pole position. Let's see whether Alpine is up for the task. What can anyone say for the Marble League 2021 champions and overtaking masters of Marbula One? Well, they can say that they're poor one-lap racers. And that is true. Jelle has yet to score big, and GP8, which is speed-bound, won't be their big chance. I believe we will see great racing at the back of the field though. A top 10 finish in the race? Yeah, why not? Arif is an all-rounder combining speed, endurance, strength, motivation and fitness to well above average rankings. Arif can easily challenge for the championship and GP8 might be their moment of triumph. It's a shame though to see such a good racer not having a strong teammate to rely on. Before we continue, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you that subscribe to Minos Marble Orchestra. And this comes with good news. Recently, we launched a Patreon page where you will be able to listen to all music themes in early access, get behind-the-scenes footage, and much more. You will find the link in the description below. Next up, Minty Fresh is on the back foot right now. With only 15 points to their name, while their teammate Minty Flav has double the amount, motivation is high though, and after a season break, we might get surprised by Fresh and even finish in the top 5. There is room for improvement, and that's for sure, but overall, they are there. It's only a matter of time before they score big points. Bumble is the definition of contrasts. Their performance is bound to the characteristic of each track, and with mixed types of circuits in the calendar, Bumble either gets a podium or a bottom 5 finish. With Stardust Accelerator being a technical speed track, I believe that Glory's 100 motivation will be overshadowed by the miserable 10 in speed. I mean, look at those numbers! How it's even possible to be so motivated and yet be so slow? Anyway, next up, Glimmer has 18 points of their name, but this is only from a podium finish. One can easily say that Glimmer is a one-time wonder, and with good reason. There is neither endurance nor strength, and thus everything needs to go perfect in the weekend for them to score points. A pole position or a podium? If you ask me, that's out of the question. I would consider success a top 15 finish, to be honest. One wonders if Crush gets the same training with Dash. While Dash is a race winner and enjoys a P6 in the race's championship, Crush sits in 34th place with just 7 points. Polarizing performance reflects their power rankings with tremendous speed, decent fitness, but everything else is horrendous. Looking closer at those rankings, I really believe that Crush could smash the timing sheets and get their maiden pole position. Yep, there I go, I said it. Momo, on the other hand, is an absolute animal in raw speed, getting the ultimate 100%. Good endurance too, but battling for position is not what they're good at. On top of that, motivation is very low. So even a pole position for Momo, which is highly plausible, don't get me wrong, might end to a shameful day for the only team in the top 10 to yet score a podium. Starry bet gets to that motivation up ahead of their home Grand Prix. A very strong racer overall. Starry only needs a win to be considered a serious title contender. Will they disprove the host curse and get big points? Or even a win? We'll see. Roldo is not very positive about them, as their home race is an unknown track to everyone, even Team Galactic themselves. But oh boy, what if they win at Polaria? If I were Tumult, I would have way more motivation to race for the top, as teammate Clutter tops the racer's standings with 71 points and 3 podiums. Tumult has had a very difficult season so far, only getting 8 points to their name, with mediocre performance overall. These stats did not change overnight, so do not expect much from the Balls of Chaos this weekend. Next up, with a racer with 1 win, 1 pole position and 1 fast lap for the rookie Royal. Royal is in fine form, but don't let the rankings distract you. Royal is up there with the top this season. GP8 bodes well for them, if they do not fall for the jet lag. Don't forget, Cobalts live the farthest away from Polaria, so this might be a downside for them. Orangine has good fitness, and I'm not just referring to the stats of these power rankings. But Mellow Meadows got a P3 in qualifying, which was made a P2 in the race. Orangine also taking 1 pole position and 1 win. Battling through the field is their strong card, and with the greatest example of GP5, where we had a beautiful fight for the top 3, everything is set for a great race for them. Finally, Red Eye from the crazy Cat's Eyes. This marble is quick. And I mean really quick. We've seen that Red Eye mostly does the job in qualifying and then use their undoubtful skill to get the best possible result. Red Eye was the other protagonist of GP5, where we saw an epic battle for the lead. Only 1 point shy of the first place in the championship, and with Clutter not participating in this race, it's almost a given that Red Eye will be on top. There is a smudge in their shiny performance though. Red Eye has not so much strength for battles, reminiscent to the awesome battle with Smoggy in Slit Street, only to eventually give up and take second place. Still a great result, don't get me wrong, but can Red Eye capitalize when things go south in qualifying? Tune in to Jelle's Marble Runs tomorrow at 7 PM UTC to find out. Oh, and before I go, I would like to say a big thank you to everybody in the JMA for gathering all this data, and especially John Y for helping me in this video. Who will be the winner of this Sunday's race at Stardust Accelerator? Let us know in the comments below.